Today I'm doing the Severus Snape book tag. I was tagged by Laura at the Magical White Pages, and this tag was created by Amy at the Blonde Archives. For this video therefore, we will need a wand. As you may have noticed, Severus Snape is always dressed in black, so the first question asks, which book with a black cover is your favourite? I'm actually quite surprised at this. I don't have as many black books as I thought I did, and I'm not overly keen on the vast majority of black covers. That being said, I adore the cover for Inferno by Catherine Doyle. It really sets the scene for the book in its blacks and reds. It screams Mafia from this cover, and it's totally Mafia, it's totally romance, it's dark, it's thrilling, it's awesome. While I was looking at my shelves, I also found Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. I've seen this book a lot recently, but this is the original black cover from the UK, and it really captures the essence of the book. But this book was the book of the year a few years ago. It is absolutely awesome, and it's a black cover, so the cover's changed recently, I think, but I prefer this one. The next question asks us to name a character that we hate as much as Snape hates Harry, and for this one I can think of only one. And I'm going to the Harry Potter world for this one. It comes from the Order of the Phoenix and is Dolores Umbridge. That pink style, it's fooling no one. She's heartless, she's ruthless, she's horrible, she's Dolores Umbridge. Probably the only character in any fiction that I completely and utterly loathe. She's horrible, and that pinkness, she's cruel, she's mean. I hate her so much. For question number 3. Severus Snape was Headmaster at Hogwarts for a short while. Which books would you add to the mandatory reading list? I'm not going to say I would make you read these books, but more recommendations. Books that I think you should potentially read. Butter by Aaron Lange. This book, I don't want to call it a hard read, but it does touch on things, it does make you think like all of Aaron's books. Next, Geekhood. Close Encounters of the Girl Kind by Andy Robb. I love this book, I love it so much. The reason I think this should be on a mandatory reading list from my school is it characterises our internal monologue. Essentially, the little voice in our head says, don't do that, don't do this, don't do that, trying to persuade you not to do things when maybe you probably should just take a risk every now and again. And this book characterises it in a very funny way, so get it on your mandatory reading list. The next one I would add to my mandatory reading list is Trouble by Non Pratt. This is very close to the final cover, it's actually a brief, but you can kind of see what the cover looks like. Basically it follows a teenager who becomes pregnant and it explores the fallout from that. It's a very, very good book. It should definitely be on the mandatory reading list. I'm adding quite a few here, aren't I? But the next one is The Last Leaves Falling by Fox Benwell. It basically follows a character who knows they're going to die. I can't find the words to describe this book. It's so good, you have to pick it up. I think the last one on this back cover sums it up perfectly. This is a story of life and death, finding friendship and finding courage. It's brilliant. It should be on the mandatory reading list in my school. And the final book I would add to my mandatory reading list is Before I Fall by Lauren Oliver. This book was one of the first books I've ever sent when I started my book blog, and as soon as I read it I fell in love with it. Essentially the same bit just repeats again and again but in a different way, and the main character has to try and make themselves better with each repetition of, I think it's a day, brightly. And the ending, there's no words to describe it, it's beautiful, absolutely beautiful, and done to perfection. It's still my favourite Lauren Oliver book. Before I Fall. Get it on the mandatory reading list in my school. As we all know, Severus Snape was a Death Eater, and as part of being a Death Eater, he has a snakey kind of tattoo there, or somewhere. And the next question asks us to name your favourite character that has a tattoo. I'm sorry, it's the obvious one, but it's 4 from Divergent. I'm not a huge fan of the series, but this one is superb, and of all the books, this is the best one. I've got the other 2 books in the series, but they've changed the covers on the new ones, and nowhere near as nice as this one. This is the best cover, which seems to suit it because it's also the best story. And for his tattoo on his back representing each of the factions, it's the only one I can think of, but Divergent does deserve some kind of mention in one of my videos somewhere. So here it is, Divergent and 4. Severus Snape makes an unbreakable vow, a vow which cannot be broken. Makes sense. With Narcissa Malfoy to protect Draco. So question 5 asks us, which books would you protect with your life? I'm not going to say one, because I can't choose just one, I'm going to say 3, and it's related to something that happened a few years ago. I'll pop a link in the description below. The first one is Geekhood Mission Improbable by Andy Robb. The second one is Geek Girl Model Misfit by Holly Smell, and the third one is Me Susie P by Karen Saunders. You might ask, what do these 3 books have in common? Well, firstly, all 3 of them are signed. And personalised to me. Now, I don't have very many signed books, partly because I'm not the kind of person that goes up and approaches and says, will you sign my book for me? But these 3 books, I got them all on the same day. It's the first time I've been to a literary event, and I actually met up with Andy for a few hours before we went. As a result, these 3 books are my most special books, and I would save them from a burning fire. I would not want to be apart from them. Salazar Slytherin wanted to ban half-bloods and muggleborn wizards from Hogwarts. So question 6 asks, which books would you ban from bookstores? To this I would say, none. I strongly believe that each and every person has the right to read whatever book they want to read, whatever genre they want to read, or whatever they feel comfortable reading. I don't think anyone has the right to tell anyone else what they can or cannot read. They can make recommendations, but generally speaking, if you want to read something, read it. No one has the right to tell you what you can or can't read. So therefore I would not ban books from any kind of bookstore, library, or anywhere else. Read what you want to read, people. Read what you want to read. I wave my wand so it's law. Read what you want to read. Promise me, you'll read what you want to read. Question 7. If you had to form a group to fight a group a bit like the Death Eaters, which book characters would you want as part of your team? Good question. I'm purposely not going to choose characters from Harry Potter because obviously I want Harry, I'd want Hermione, I'd want Neville, I'd want Luna, I just want the entire Harry Potter cast, so that's probably not going to work. We'll take them as a given. I have to admit, these are kind of obvious answers. I've picked Katniss from The Hunger Games, Triss and 4 from Divergent, and Gemma from Acid. You might not have heard of this one, but it's a very, very good book. This isn't actually the cover, this is a brief. It came out a few years ago, but Gemma from Acid should be the right person for the job, I think. For question 8, we're going to the potions dungeon, because for question 8, we're going to drink a potion. From these 2 potions, which would you like to drink? A potion that will allow you to read books for a living. Potion number 2, a potion that will allow you to write books for a living. This answer might slightly surprise you if you've watched my previous videos. I would drink potion B, because although I said previously I can't write books, and I stick by that, I can't write books. However, if I drank a potion, maybe I could write books. This potion apparently lets me write books, so I'd write books. Because I love writing. I just can't actually write a story, because it doesn't work. So this potion might solve that problem. So potion number 2, I choose to write books, because I need all the help I can get. That would be awesome. My name's Jesse, and we've just read to life the Severus Snape book tag. I'm not going to tag anyone else to do it, except to say if you want to do this tag, then I officially, with my wand, tag you. You watching this video in the corner. You hate me, have a lovely day, and until next time, goodbye.